Hello, amazing students. Welcome to English with Sophie. You've been speaking English for years. You feel confident. Then someone says, I walk to the store, and you think, wait, should that be toward or towards? Suddenly, doubt creeps in. You've used all three your entire life, but do you actually know when each one is correct? Here's the truth. Most English speakers can't explain the difference. They just guess. But your brain already knows something's off when you choose the wrong one. You feel it even if you can't name it. Today, I'm going to show you exactly what changes between these three tiny words and why it matters more than you think. Keep track of your answers as we go. Let's find out if you've been saying it right all along. Let me start with something you've definitely said before. I'm going to the gym versus I'm going toward the gym. Both sound okay, right? Your brain doesn't scream wrong at either one. But here's what's interesting. Advanced English speakers, native speakers, they feel a tiny shift in meaning between these two sentences. They can't always explain it, but they sense it. It's like knowing a song is slightly out of tune even if you're not a musician. That feeling, that's your language instinct working. You're not imagining it. The difference is real, subtle, and incredibly important for sounding natural. And the best part? You already understand it subconsciously. We're just going to make it conscious. Let's do a quick test. I'll give you 3 pairs of sentences. Don't overthink them, just notice how they feel different. She walked to the door, / she walked toward the door. He turned to me, / he turned toward me. I'm committed to change, / I'm committed toward change. Can you feel it? Something shifts between to and toward, but it's hard to pin down. One feels more complete somehow. The other feels like it's still happening. You might be thinking, is it about distance, speed, certainty? You're getting warmer, but don't guess yet. Let's slow everything down and actually see what your brain is detecting. The answer is simpler and more beautiful than you think. Here's a question that might unlock everything. When you say to, does something finish? When you say toward, are you still in motion? Think about it. I gave the book to Sarah. That action is done, complete, arrived. I'm moving toward success. You're still going, still trying, still on the journey. Your intuition is screaming the answer right now. To feels like arrival. Toward feels like direction. But hold that thought. Don't lock it in yet. Because what happens when we take this beyond physical movement? What happens when we use these prepositions with emotions, ideas, abstract concepts? That's where it gets really interesting. That's where most learners, and even native speakers, start making mistakes without realizing it. Picture this in slow motion. A person is walking across a room. They're moving, and they stop just before reaching the window. Freeze that moment. That exact second before arrival, that's the toward zone. They're in motion, they have direction, they haven't arrived yet. That space, that intention without completion, that's what toward captures. It's the journey itself. It's effort, direction, movement, and progress. Now here's my question. What word would you use to describe that moment? If you said toward, you're absolutely right. She walked toward the window. Not there yet. Still moving, still in the process. So if that's toward, what happens when she actually arrives? Now replay the scene. The person keeps walking and reaches the window. Hand touches the glass. Journey complete. Destination reached. That moment, that's to. She walked to the window. Arrival. Completion. The movement has ended. You can feel the difference, can't you? To has finality. Toward has motion. This isn't about memorizing rules. You're actually seeing the invisible difference your brain already knew. But here's where it gets interesting. We just talked about physical movement, walking across a room, arriving at windows. That's easy to picture. But language doesn't stop there. What happens when the destination isn't a place? What happens when you're moving toward an idea, an emotion, a goal you can't touch? Let's find out. Here's the one mental model you need, the thing that makes everything click. To equals destination. Toward or towards equals direction, that's it. You don't memorize sentences, you see the pattern. If there's an endpoint, something you reach and complete, use to. If there's ongoing motion, a direction without guaranteed arrival, use toward. Think. I gave it to him, destination reached. I'm working toward my goals, direction still moving. You can literally see it now, can't you? Every sentence sorts itself. But wait, here's where your brain is about to make a beautiful connection. What happens when the journey isn't about movement through space, but movement through feeling? Can emotions have destinations? Can ideas? Let's test it. Try saying these out loud. I'm kind to you. Now try, I'm kind toward you. Feel that? The first one sounds natural, complete, finished, it's a quality that's arrived. The second one sounds weird, incomplete, like kindness is still traveling. That's because emotions, when directed at people, often need completion. To gives them that, but now try this. I'm working toward being kinder. Suddenly, toward fits perfectly. Why? Because you haven't arrived at kinder yet, you're in motion toward it. See what just happened? Language mirrors emotion. When you've reached an emotional state, use to. When you're still moving toward one, use toward. Your preposition choice reveals whether something's complete or in progress, and that changes everything about how you sound. Let's talk about dreams and goals. Which sounds right to you? I'm working to success or I'm working toward success? If you said the second one, you're thinking like a native speaker. To success sounds mechanical, abrupt, almost robotic. Why? Because success isn't a location you suddenly arrive at, it's a direction you move in. Toward captures the journey, the effort, the human struggle. It sounds ambitious but humble. Now flip it. I'm committed to success. That works. Why? Because commitment is a state you've already reached. You've arrived at the decision. Same word, success, different preposition, completely different meaning. And here's the wild part. Using the right one makes you sound more natural, more sophisticated, more native. Could one tiny preposition really change how ambitious, how confident, how human you sound? Absolutely. Here's where it gets psychological. Listen to these. She spoke to me. She spoke toward me. The first one is normal, direct communication, interaction, connection made. The second one. It sounds like she's speaking in my general direction, but not quite at me, like I'm overhearing something meant for someone near me. Communication suddenly has geometry. To creates interaction, the message reaches you, arrives at you. Toward creates projection. The message is moving in your direction but might not land. This is subtle, advanced, native-level stuff. Most textbooks never teach this. But it's exactly how English speakers naturally feel these words. Language has angles, distance, trajectory, and your preposition choice controls all of it. You're not just learning grammar anymore, you're learning the physics of conversation. Want to see how much further this goes? Time to solve a mystery. Toward versus towards. Are they different? Here's the truth, they mean exactly the same thing. The S at the end is purely a style choice, not a grammar rule. In American English, people tend to say toward without the S in British English. Towards with the S is more common, but both are correct everywhere. You can use either. So if they mean the same thing, why do some people prefer one over the other? Great question. It's about sound, rhythm, personal preference, not right or wrong. Think of it like amongst versus among. Same meaning, slightly different feel. But here's what's interesting. Even though they mean the same thing, they can feel different in your mouth, in your rhythm. Let's explore that. Say these out loud. I'm moving toward my goals. Now, I'm moving towards my goals. Hear the difference. Toward ends cleanly, sharply, like a period. Towards has that soft S that trails off like an ellipsis. It's subtle sound psychology. The S makes it feel slightly more ongoing, more continuous. Not grammatically, just emotionally, musically. Neither is wrong. But you're starting to realize something powerful. English isn't just about rules. It's about rhythm, tone, feeling. The words you choose shape how people perceive you, confident or uncertain, finished or in progress, American or British. You're not just learning vocabulary. You're learning the music of the language. And that music, that's what makes you sound truly fluent. Let's feel it even more. Imagine this micro moment. He leaned to her ear. Now, he leaned toward her ear. Can you feel the difference? The first one sounds like he reached her ear, made contact, arrived. The second one vibrates with tension. He's moving closer but hasn't arrived yet. There's intimacy in that incomplete motion. It's the moment before the whisper. That's not grammar you're feeling, it's gravity. The pull between two people, captured in a preposition. Toward keeps you in that magnetic space between intention and action. To closes it, completes it. And suddenly you realize this tiny word controls narrative tension. It controls how close or far things feel. It controls the emotional temperature of your sentence. You're not just learning English anymore. You're learning how to create feeling with words. This is what separates good English from beautiful English. Here's something textbooks won't tell you. Sometimes too just fails. It sounds wrong, robotic, broken. Try this. I'm moving to being a better person. Sounds awful, right? Like a machine translated it. Why? Because being a better person isn't a destination you arrive at and finish, it's an ongoing direction, an endless journey. 2 assumes completion, and not everything completes. That's why toward exists, to capture the unfinished, the in progress, the beautifully incomplete. When you use to for something that should be toward, you drain the life out of the sentence. It sounds cold, transactional, dead. But when you use toward for ongoing growth, change, improvement, the sentence breathes. It sounds human. And that incomplete energy, that's where English comes alive. Let's explore why that matters so much. Here's a frame that changes everything. Direction is a mindset. When you say toward, you're not just describing movement, you're describing pursuit. You're saying, I'm in motion, I haven't arrived, I'm still trying. There's humility in that, there's honesty. To communicates possession, completion, I've reached it. Toward communicates effort, I'm reaching for it. And here's the beautiful part, that's exactly how native speakers make language sound alive. They don't just report facts, they reveal process. They show you the journey, not just the destination. When you master toward, you stop sounding like a textbook and start sounding like a person. You sound less certain and more human, less robotic and more real. And people trust that. They connect with that. This is the secret hiding in plain sight. Let's get psychological. Your choice between to and toward reveals how you see yourself. Listen, I'm committed to excellence. That's confidence, arrival, certainty, you've already decided. I'm moving toward excellence. That's humility, growth, aspiration. You're still becoming. Neither is wrong, but they paint completely different pictures of you. To makes you sound decisive, definitive, sometimes even rigid. Toward makes you sound reflective, open, growth-oriented. In job interviews, relationships, writing, your preposition choice shows whether you think you've arrived or you're still learning. It's not just grammar. It's self-perception translated into language. You don't just say these words, you become them. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. Every sentence is a choice about how you want to be perceived. Let's test it. Quick scenario, you're running a marathon, mile 20, almost there. Which do you say? I'm running to the finish line, or I'm running toward the finish line. Think about it. If you said toward, you're right, you haven't finished yet, you're still in motion. To would only work after you cross it. I ran to the finish line and collapsed. See, you just made a real-time decision based on completion versus direction. Try another, you're learning piano. I'm working to mastery or toward mastery. If you said toward, you're feeling it now. Mastery is a direction you move in forever, not a place you arrive at once. You're not memorizing rules anymore. You're thinking in English. You're choosing prepositions the way native speakers do by feeling the energy of the sentence. And that's fluency. Let's take this even deeper. Here's where it gets philosophical. In life, are you moving to success or toward it? Think about that. To implies you'll arrive one day, plant a flag, and be done. Toward implies endless growth, continuous movement, a direction rather than a destination. And here's the truth most native speakers never articulate. Toward is almost always more honest, because nothing in life is truly finished. You don't arrive at happiness and stay there. You move toward it daily. You don't reach kindness once and stop. You practice it continuously. Language doesn't just describe reality, it shapes how you see it. When you choose toward, you're choosing a growth mindset. You're acknowledging that the journey matters more than the arrival. And that's not just better English. That's better living. This is the real secret native speakers carry without realizing it. Let's zoom all the way out. Here's what you've discovered. Language isn't about memorizing rules, it's about precision of intention. Every time you choose between to and toward, you're not just following grammar. You're deciding what you mean. Have you arrived or are you still going? Is it complete or in progress? Certain or aspirational? Destination or direction? And now those questions answer themselves. You feel the difference in your bones. You don't have to think about it anymore. Your intuition has caught up with your knowledge. When you speak now, your words align with what you actually mean. You sound clearer, more intentional, more alive. And people feel that. They might not know why, but they trust you more when your language matches your meaning. That's the power of understanding something this deeply. One last thing, let's compress everything into one truth you'll never forget. Here it is, the one-line truth that makes everything click. To ends the journey. Toward keeps it alive, that's it. Everything we've explored, the movement, the emotion, the psychology, the philosophy, it all comes down to this. When you want completion, arrival, finality, use to. When you want motion, direction, ongoing effort, use toward or towards. You'll never confuse them again. And more importantly, you'll never sound uncertain again. You now understand something most English speakers feel but can't explain. You can choose your words with the precision of a native speaker. So now I want to know which one describes you. Are you someone who's arrived to where you want to be or someone still moving toward it? Drop your answer in the comments. And if this clicked for you, share it with someone who's still confused. Let's end the guessing together.